How is the Wales camp? Because it's much changed. You've got a lot of big characters who've left the scene. How is it?
It's weird. Very young. I have to keep saying this and rehashing this over, but I'm like the third oldest, so I'm starting. It's really weird feeling for me. Maybe should grow up a little bit, but I'm struggling. But no, it's strange. It was a bit quiet at first. I think boys are now coming into it, so it's nice. But yeah, no Dan Bigger, no other lads there. Getting less abuse, which is nice.
Okay, well that's a start.
Yeah.
Has it felt weird for you genuinely? Because like have you considered yourself in the past one of the younger ones?
Yeah, completely. I was like walking around, springing my step, like this is brilliant. And then I'm the oldest. It's just like I look the oldest now, and I feel like the oldest. So it's terrible.
With that comes a little bit of responsibility, I'm guessing. And actually, we've just heard some lovely words from Jonathan Humphreys about your leadership capacity to help everybody along the way and to get involved in not quite captaincy because you're not the captain, but the leadership element, which perhaps is a new thing in an international environment. Is that right?
Yeah. I was trying to get them to play what he was saying, but it's really important. It's no team who's done well has ever had just one leader. Like you have to have other people picking up, helping out, like whatever. And it doesn't mean you have to be the guy in the huddle talking, that kind of thing. Like I'm not. It's not me. But as long as you're adding value and you're giving something, helping out, is a good thing. And I think, like you said, you have to. When you get to this age, I think when you start getting older, you should start taking a bit more responsibility. So, I'm enjoying that. I know how important it is though as well, because you have to hold yourself to a proper standard and you can't let anything slack and stuff like that. But it's important that other lads as well pick up and help Dav up where possible.
Yeah, you mentioned Dafydd Jenkins. Obviously, he's one of the youngest Welsh captains of all time. Does that add to your role actually in a funny sort of way, because he's feeling his way by the nature of it?
Yeah, I think not necessarily in the sense that he obviously feeling his way through it. I mean, he's young, but he's got an old head on his shoulders, and he knows what it's about being an extra. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders in terms of he knows the day-to-day stuff. I think it's just important. The important thing I think with other players who have now left, Dan Bigger, other people, boys have to step up and pick up that aspect of it. Not the captaincy, but the other stuff, the attack or the defence, or giving that kind of experience rather than just like helping Dav speak or what. You have to help try and drive the standard in training, which I think is important.
How would you describe Dafydd Jenkins?
Lispy. Sorry. Man, a few words, but big actions. Yeah, he's a really good lad. I like him a lot, and I'm really impressed with how he plays.
I mean, his rise to the top has been meteoric.
Yeah.
I mean, university boy.
Yeah.
Captaining his country.
I know.
Extraordinary. So when you think about that, are his qualities immediately obvious? Do you see a man of stature when you see Dafydd Jenkins, even though he's 21?
Yeah, like coming in straight away, you're seeing this big bloke, carries himself well, bit quiet, but banging people, running around, carrying, straight away you're like, yeah, fair enough. And I think at the time I met him, I think he's already has like a bone sticking out here, and I was like, what is wrong with your shoulder? You're 19, and he's been playing however long with that ruined shoulder, and it's just like, yeah, you're quite a tough bloke. You're a lot tougher than me, so
you played against him, obviously very recently as well. When you play against him, what's the dynamic there?
Yeah, the cheeky guy. He had the ball, and he saw me, and he started laughing before he carried into me. And I was like, I'm all right. I mean, you're big, mate, but I can still. I think. And then he said he was surprised that I actually tackled him well. So I was like, oh, the youth of this generation. I know.
The youth. What are we going to do with the youth?
I know. So, but it was really enjoyable, because it was that kind of. It made me laugh. That.
There are a lot of youngsters, as you've mentioned. Another one that I want to mention is Archie Griffin, who's kind of parachuted into the Welsh squad again without a lot of game time for Bath. But he's 130 kilos and he can move.
I would say 40 kilos is in the head. That's a massive Swede. I'm so impressed with that. Everyone's honestly, it's nice. And then he highlights it with the mullet and the little earring, which is even more gold. So, but yeah, he's a massive man. It's quite scary to. I'm just thinking every time that kind of like one of these players and they're playing in the Prem, you're just like, well, I'm going to have to tackle you at some point, and it's just not going to be fun, is it? Like, why do they keep producing them? I don't know.
I mean, Wales will be very grateful for him if he develops the way that they're all hoping he will. Again, out on the training park, is it immediately obvious to you there's a bloke with a big international future?
I think so. Like his fundamentals are good. I don't really know much about the scrums, but I think he's going well. So it's like, and he moves quite well. But he's going to be good because again he's at Bath and he's got people like Finn Russell, so he knows that kind of movement, which I think is really important and invaluable. So yeah, I don't worry about him. I think he's gonna annoyingly he's probably going to be quite good. So I'll be tackling him future times maybe.
You've mentioned Finn. Inevitably, every game Finn's involved in, people talk about Finn because he's different, he's mercurial, he's unexpected. So lining up against him this weekend, what do you have to do to starve him of oxygen?
You have to. Well, it's hard. You don't want to target him, but you don't want to. You got to just hunt. You just got to. You hunt and defend as a team, because as soon as you try and go out of your way to fix a problem like that, he just tears you up or does something, or is exactly what he wants when you fly onto him, because he'll either just shift it early, wide, or just give a little shoulder ball. So if you're going together and you're not just fixated on him, then you should be able to you should be able to like control him and hopefully bottleneck him. But like players like that, all of them they're always going to have a moment in a game. So you just have to move on. Like you got to go for the next thing and just keep going and be relentless with it, and then hopefully you frustrate them and there's mistakes. But that's the nature of the game, isn't it?
I'm guessing actually you've struck on something really interesting, which is the kind of mindset of understanding he'll have his moment and being okay with that within reason, providing it's not a horrible glaring error somewhere. But you need to just park it and go, well, it's Finn. He's going to do that. So what else has he got? Yeah,
it's very easy while I'm sat here in this little velvet chair saying that. Forget about it. But it genuinely is. If you come in with a properly positive mindset like that, then what's going to hold you back? Like, they're going to have moments. We're going to have moments, bad and good. But as long as you can keep going at them, and as long as we have that proper mentality in the right way, you're just going to keep going at them and be relentless with it. And I think that's the best way to be.
And as a rugby fan, which I'm assuming you are, there's nobody better to watch. I mean, he's the guy that everybody will pay good money to see play, isn't he? I mean, he's just box office.
Yeah, he's quite good. He's quite fun to watch. Not when you're playing against him and he's throwing out the backdoor passes and they're scoring off it. But yeah, he's good fun to watch. Watch him operate and run around and that. And then you're hearing the quotes of Messi and stuff, which is quite funny. So
I have a feeling
he's got
he
a bit
hasn't
about
heard
him.
the last of that, has he?
No, I hope not. It's funny though, isn't it? It's brilliant. I love it.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Characters, all important. Again, on that note, you've got one of the biggest rugby characters in your group in Warren Gatland. This feels like a rebuild for all the reasons given. Obviously, you've got a lot of absentees as well through injury. What's Gatland 2.0 like? Is it like Gatland 1.0?
Yeah, I think so. It's tried and tested method of get you working hard, get you together, and kind of bring you closer, and then giving you that confidence. And I've said earlier, but what he does really well, and I didn't really notice because obviously I haven't spent that much time with Warren, but what he does really quite impressively is he creates this proper belief in you as a team, and gets this how you're fit enough, you're good enough. Now go out and just work hard for each other and just be relentless with it. And I think if we can have that as our foundation, we can start growing these younger lads, start talking, start owning it more, and hopefully they can start stepping out of the shadow and really shine, because there's a lot of talent here. It's just a case of them believing it and then going out and producing. So he's quite impressive in that sense.
It's really interesting hearing you talk about that, because obviously there's a lot of press at the moment over a bloke like Ben Stokes, who and Brendan McCullum, who are relentlessly pumping positivity into their team. We back you, we back you, we back you. And the confidence levels are off the dial, and the players are producing in extraordinary ways on the cricket pitch. So has that always been a Gatland thing as far as you're concerned as well?
I don't. It's not a sense of relentless positivity. I mean, I think that is. I love that analogy of those coaches because they are brilliant as well, and I like that. I think he has a right blend of positivity, but can be quiet. And you look at him as a figure, you kind of has that aura about him, and then comes to you with maybe what you should be doing better, little things here and there. But I think it's in the way he works with the boys, in the sense that gets them working really hard, and probably brutal at times where you're feeling pretty rubbish, but you start coming together, and then it's little, all those kind of facets kind of layered in with him then saying, look, you've done the work, you've done it, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to take them to a place they don't want to be, but you've been there, so you can do this. And I think that's the role, I think, in which I've seen him operate, and it's subtle, but there's a lot of different, and especially with the underpinned of the work rate of what he tries to get in us.
Interesting. One man's going to be a big miss this Six Nations, not in a Welsh shirt, is Owen Farrell. Is that going to be weird for everybody not having Owen Farrell strutting his stuff in a white shirt?
Yeah, I'm going to miss it. I do enjoy suiting up and playing against him. It is fun. He's a big loss for England. Of course, they've got Jamie George now is going to be captain. He's going to be brilliant. I know he is, but it's a big old hole that's been left for them.
Tell us why Jamie's going to be brilliant.
A little bit different to Owen. Probably a little bit more chattier, a little bit can just lead in a little bit of a different way, I suppose. So I think I know that he's definitely going to be loved in that squad, because as he is at Sarries. So I know that they're going to respect him and love him. And he's going to come at it from maybe that point of view. And I think he's a great bloke, and he leads well every day. He's probably learnt a lot off of Owen from being at Sarries and what Owen does as captain there. So he's got a lot of people, and I know that he's going to speak to Owen at times. I reckon probably like they're really good mates. So I can't see that not going well.
He's a very different character, isn't he? I mean, he's, people who do know Jamie and spend time in his company know he loves a laugh and a joke, doesn't he?
Yeah, I love him.
Great value.
Yeah.
Give us a sense, certainly at Sarries, of the kind of energy that brings to your squad, because he's an energy provider, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like, him and Elliot Daly are a bit of a double act, and like it's all of it. It's the downtime stuff as well, like him playing games and doing stuff. Yeah, just making people laugh and
social secretary.
Yeah, a little bit, and that's like, you don't normally get that as a captain. You get loads of the leaders in that sense, but he does lead off on the pitch as well. So yeah, he's just that kind of character. Really, he's good for rugby, I think.
He's just a bloke to put a smile on English fans' faces, isn't he?
Exactly.